Hey everybody, welcome back to MotorWorks. Welcome back to the shop. Welcome back to MotorWorks TV. It's our first 5-minute Friday of the new year, and we missed a couple going in, but it's been pretty crazy around here the last couple of weeks. And what about that year behind us, huh? How about that for a bumpy trail? That wasn't enough for you. I don't know what is. The pain, the suffering, the loss, the every damn day of it, on and on, seeming without end. And if the last couple of weeks have been any indication, we're far from finished with this bumpy trail. It's going to be quite a while before we're back on the flat and smooth. But we'll come back to that in a minute. Let's do some fun stuff first. This, as some of you I'm sure have noticed, is a BMW GS. This 1991 model in, as the saying goes, quite good nick. And that's our motorcycling story, you might say, for this week. The BMW GS family of bikes is enjoying its anniversary year this year, kind of basking in it. It ended last year, but this is their glory year in celebration of 40 years of production. And in motorcycling dog years, that's like an eternity. That's like geological time. For any family of bikes or a model to stay in production for even half that amount of time is almost unheard of. And the story of what this bike accomplished is pretty cool. In a nutshell, at the time, the motorcycle division of BMW was not in a good place at all. The numbers weren't looking good, and there was a strong faction and the board of directors that was lobbying really hard for folding up the tent on the motorcycle division and stopping the whole thing. They had a core group of customers that were still buying the bikes, but things were far from in the ascendancy, and they didn't have any entry-level bikes that they were making at that time, and things were not looking good. And there's a part of this that applies to people like you, because innovative, independent workshop people were modifying the road bikes in order to make them more competent in what would become a dual sport role, to be able to do some off-road work with the bikes, and they were enjoying a measure of success. They were even built into competitive machines and competed in prestigious events like the International 6-Day Trial. If you've never heard of the ISDT, do a little research on that. It's quite an amazing story within the pantheon of great motorcycle stories. And the in-house engineers and mechanics at BMW got a green light to develop a prototype, and it goes into production and arguably saves the company, saves the entire motorcycle division at BMW, and brings us to a place where now we have these new generation of touring bikes, what the GS is involved into, a category leading family of motorcycles, and all of the entry-level bikes that BMW is making now, and their super bike, their S1000RR. If it wasn't for the progenitors of this bike, there's a distinct possibility that none of that would have happened. And it was because of small shop innovation and forward-thinking individuals that were doing unusual things with bikes that weren't designed to do that. And what brought this exceptional example here is one of the things I wanted to touch on, and that is, in these days, now more than ever, it's important to foster your analog relationships. Chances are you're getting more than enough screen time these days, so you have to foster your social media that's not on social media. This bike ended up here because of a burgeoning relationship with somebody that he helped me with some things that I was working on, and I had the ability to help him with some things that he's working on. And it's developed into more than a business relationship. It's developed into a friendship. And that is an incredibly important part of your shop, of everyday life and your shop life as well. Another example is I'm no machinist by any stretch of the word, but I'm fortunate enough to have a couple of machine tools, and I've been learning that. And if it wasn't for my dear friend John, who's a real machinist, I wouldn't be anywhere near learning as effectively and learned as much as I have so far. And it can come from any direction. My relationship with John was born of barbecue sauce recipe is how it started. And it's become an incredibly important thing to both of us. He enjoys teaching me, and I try to be a good student, and I try and help him with the projects that he's working on, or help him in any way that I can. So that's another component of shop life and your day-to-day existence in that area. So foster those relationships, get some FaceTime in there, you know, maybe with your faces not as close together as they would normally be, because we have the pandemic to deal with. But stay close to those people that are close to you, and help where you can, and do the right thing at every turn, and it makes your shop life and every other aspect of your life that much better. So be careful out there, ride safe, ride smart, and we'll look forward to seeing you next week. All right? Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Take care. Cheers.